Law of attraction in 6 steps. I've been teaching law of attraction for over 15 years now, and I have it down to the 6 steps that I see most people need to learn more about in order to take full advantage of this amazing manifesting tool. So if you're ready, I'm gonna grab a cup of tea and we'll get down to this. Oh, and also, if you're new here, my name is Erdman-Luntz, and I uniquely combine yoga and life coaching tips to help you manifest the life of your dreams, to live your extraordinary life. So just in case you're new, that's who I am. Oh wait, one more thing. So I forgot to mention that down below, you can grab a workbook that's gonna take you through all of these 6 steps, give you a few extra tips that I'm gonna share here. And be sure you check my next episode, my next video, because I am going to be sharing even more about how you can apply yoga to each of these steps. So again, workbook below, totally free, grab it. All right, off to get tea. All right, I got my tea. Let's do this. So the 6 steps come from my program, my flagship called 5 Steps Plus One for Living Your Extraordinary Life. And the reason I'm sharing that is because step 1 is that +1. So when I first started teaching this, I felt like this step, this +1 step, wasn't really all that necessary. It was just sort of a support step. Well, I have since realized that's probably the most important step, and I will share why. So that +1 is self-care. Why is self-care so important? Well, there's actually 3 reasons, okay? The first one is self-care is your fuel. It's your energy. You know how sometimes you sit on the couch and you're like, I just don't have the bandwidth to get up and do anything. And other times you are like running around doing tons of things and getting so much done and it feels so good. You're really accomplishing things. That's self-care. Right? Being filled up. Now, yes, there are other variables to this. You know, it was a really busy day. I did a lot of stuff. But the point is that drains you, all of those things. Self-care nourishes you and fills you up. Now, doing the best self-care for you is really important. That's a whole nother topic. It's a whole another video for sure. But just know that whatever self-care you do right now has gotten you where you are right now. So in order to have more fuel for doing more, you got to change up your self-care. It doesn't necessarily mean more time, but it does mean being more specific with what it is you need to do. Now, again, I can do a different video on that one, but definitely look at your self-care and say, what can shift here? I actually created a course called the Radical Self-Care Toolkit to help with this process, but just looking at your self-care, you can say, you know, this is where I need to shift and do a little bit more, or this isn't helping me anymore. I don't need to do this anymore. The second reason we want to up our self-care is it raises our joy ceiling. Okay, so we all have a certain amount of joy that we allow in before we start to get uncomfortable and we sabotage and we throw wrenches in the works, so to speak. And that's because that's that vibration where we're comfortable and we need to push that up. And quantum leaps often occur, but they are hard to sustain because it takes, you got to be able to acclimate to it, right? So you'll start to go, oh, you know, let's bring this down a little bit in my comfort zone, totally subconscious. You don't even know you're doing this. Self-care and upping your self-care over time helps ratchet that up so you can get more and more used to feeling better and better and better so that you can acclimate to it and allow more joy into your life. All right. Reason number 3, self-care is so important is it shows the universe what you feel you deserve. If you're not taking great care of yourself, the universe isn't going to take great care of you. So you really do need to show that you're worth time, you're worth money, you're worth effort to take care of what you already have in order to welcome more into your life. Make sense? Self-care, number 1. Step number 2, your vision. You need to figure out where it is that you are headed. Now, here's the thing. That vision is more about creating a feeling of excitement than it is about creating anything specific. So I often have students who really hesitate with their vision because they don't really know what they want and they don't want to write anything down because what if it changes, or what if that's not exactly what it is that they want? And I always say it's most definitely going to change. And it's really not about being really precise because as you grow, as you evolve and shift, your vision will definitely shift. It's just about getting you excited to go, oh, yes, I want to do that next thing, because it's your vision that gives you the oomph, the energy to push through your fears, push through your limiting beliefs, to want to grow and evolve, to want to get out of bed in the morning, to take that next step and really get excited about where you're going. So you do want to get relatively clear on a vision that excites you, but just know it's going to grow. No matter what it is you want, trust me, it is a fraction of what you are supposed to receive, where you're supposed to end up. I've been doing this actively for about 20 years now, probably longer, 25, maybe even 30 years. I've been a life coach for 30 years, focused on law of attraction for 15, but always on that bigger vision, probably for 30 years. And I'm still growing it every year. I'm still going, oh, wait, I want a little more. Oh, wait, I want a little more. Oh, wait, I want a little more. That's the fun of it. Okay. So step number 2 is finding that vision, feeling like you deserve that vision, and let it be something that just gets you really excited. Number 3, you gotta believe. You gotta believe that it's possible. You gotta believe that you deserve it. You gotta believe that it's possible for you. You gotta believe that you can create whatever it is for yourself. And trust me, you don't, otherwise you'd already have it. So beliefs are merely opinions we've held for a very long time. They reside in our subconscious mind. So for the most part, we're usually not aware of them. Just know if there's something you really want and you're not actively working toward it. It's not like you can say, I want to be a doctor, and tomorrow you're a doctor. You still have to go to medical school. It's not like you can say, I want to be a best-selling author, and tomorrow you're a best-selling author. You still have to write the book, right? So if you aren't actively working toward whatever it is you want and you still don't have it, it's because there is a belief somewhere inside of you that says you don't deserve it, you're not good enough, blah, 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 because these messages are completely false. And that is something we need to work through for sure, because our limiting beliefs are really what hold us back from taking any step toward what it is that we really want that we haven't already created for ourselves. So step number 3 is a really important one to work on. And let me also add before I end that with believing, this is where yoga is really powerful, because you can begin to step into your power on the yoga mat and express it, if you will, physically. That can help shift things going on up here. There are lots of other things you can do as well, but yoga is definitely one of the tools that is really helpful. Step number 4 is right action. You gotta take action. And I borrow from Buddhism here with right action, because we can also take tons of action and fool ourselves into thinking we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, but we're not really moving the needle on our vision. We're just keeping ourselves busy with busy work to show the world that we don't have time for what it is we really want, or we're working on it, it's just not happening. Or we could also be at the other side of the spectrum and sitting on the couch, eating potato chips, flipping through the channels, going, why bother, starting because it's never going to happen. What we want to do instead is be smart about our actions and taking the right actions, the ones that actually move us forward toward our goal. Now, I want to point out something here. Notice that this is actually step 4. We've already talked about self-care, having a vision that excites us, believing it's possible, or at least beginning to understand it's possible. That belief thing can take a little time. Then we take action. It's the 4th step. How many times have you said, I want to change something, and you hop into action right away? You're pretty much bound to failure. Yes, sometimes it works, and it usually works if somewhere along the line you started to enjoy your action steps, like say, for example, exercise. But most of the time, it's much better to step into self-care, start to up your energy levels, to actually have a vision that gets you excited. So you're moving towards something that really gets you lit. You start to actually shift those beliefs that tell you it's not possible for you before you take an action. You're more likely to succeed. So step number 4 is right action. Step number 5 is faith. You gotta have faith. You gotta trust this whole process and see it happening and unfolding. And really there's 3 things here, and that is surrender. So when you can just throw up your hands and just surrender everything that you want and just trust that there is another piece to this puzzle that you aren't in control of and that is going to handle parts of it, right? To create those synchronicities for you in order to help you create what it is that you want. You also need to be able to let go. This is number 2 under the whole you gotta have faith step. So you got to let go of things. And the biggest thing you have to let go of is your current self-concept. And your self-concept is how you see yourself. And it could be as simple, this isn't necessarily simple, but as seemingly easy as I am always late. You need to let go of that. I am learning how to be on time. I am starting to be more on time. Or I am always in debt. Or I never make enough money, or I can never lose the weight, or I can't speak in front of lots of people, even though that's something you really want to do. See what I'm saying? We have to be able to let go of how we see ourselves. And here's the thing, the way you see yourself gives you energy. On some level, it gives you juice, whether it's because you get energy from other people, or it keeps you from having to get off the couch to do something because you're like, I can't do it anyway, so why bother getting started? We need to be able to let go of how we see ourselves so that we can step into this new vision. Now, number 3 in this step is receiving. You also have to allow yourself to receive. And for the most part, we all pretty much stink at receiving. I mean, think about how you feel when someone gives you a gift and you don't have one in return. If you feel awesome, that's spectacular. Most people don't, though. You feel like you owe that person. Now, reverse it. If you found the perfect gift for someone, you were so excited about it, you could not wait to give it to them, and it was just because you loved them, you were thinking about them, they're special to you, you hand it over, and their energy is, oh God, I don't have anything for them. You know what, now I owe that person. I now owe you. How does that feel for you? Like, it's terrible, right? We have to feel like we deserve the gifts that are coming our way. We deserve it all. Doesn't mean you can't be grateful. We're going to talk about that in the next step. But it does mean not going, oh no. You have to feel like you deserve it and just receive graciously again and again and again. So step number 5 is you got to have faith. And that means being able to surrender to the process, let go mostly of your self-concept, and learn how to receive. This is like the soft part of manifesting. This is the part that we just need to relax and allow it to happen. And this is where yoga is very, very helpful. There are things we can do for all 3 of these steps. And check my next video to learn more about that because it's a very powerful tool. Step number 6, our final step, and it is gratitude. You got to be grateful. You really have to. Like, living from a state of gratitude is living from love. It opens our heart. It opens up our energy. It also helps us appreciate what we appreciate. So we want to step into a state of gratitude on a daily basis. In fact, I recommend working on it so much that gratitude starts becoming your knee-jerk reaction. So notice how you react to things. Is it a state of gratitude? Or is there worry, stress, frustration, stress, etc. before you get back to gratitude? And that only happens the next morning when you step back into your gratitude practice. We want to get so good at gratitude that that is where we live from, our state of gratitude. Now, here is a really important concept that you want to think about. The gratitude you're experiencing doesn't come from scarcity, it comes from abundance. So instead of, I don't deserve this. Why am I so lucky? This is so wonderful. This is so great, but I really don't deserve this, because really that's a push-pull, right? Instead, it's like, I totally know I deserve this because I know I deserve wonderful things and I'm grateful. So you can come from abundance or you can come from scarcity, and we want to come from abundance. So there's this feeling of, yeah, and thank you. And we can do that on the yoga mat. So it's definitely something that we can cultivate on the yoga mat. So again, check my next video when it comes out, because I will be sharing more about how to apply yoga into all of these steps. And there you have it, the 6 steps for really fully embracing and taking advantage of the law of attraction. And they comprise the 5 steps plus 1 for living your extraordinary life, which is my flagship program. Now remember, there is an ebook that you can grab below, really more of a workbook that's going to help you take you through each of those steps and give you a few tips for each one as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment if you learned anything new. And if you enjoyed this, definitely subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications every time I drop new videos. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you in the next video when I'm going to be talking about how you can apply yoga to each of these steps. Yoga is a powerful tool for up-leveling your law of attraction work. Ugh, believe me, and I can't wait to share even more.